little bit about Formula K Business Park. Take it back about 2-3 years ago. This was just one big mine dump, and they were busy rehabilitating the mine dump. Unfortunately, a lot of Zamas moved in and started doing a bit of illegal mining. So it became a hotspot and a real high-risk area on the outskirts of Benoni, on the edge of Benoni. A lot of smash and grabs and a real difficult area. Formula K Development came to me and said, well, they want to put up a racetrack and a whole lot of business units, little mini factories. How will we secure this type of environment? You know, the first thought, everyone said, well, what about solar power, because no power out here. And our reply to solar is, yeah, solar is great, but it seems to create a problem where the people want to come and steal your solar panels. And they come to steal the solar panels. If they know there's solar panels, they know there's batteries, and they come and steal the batteries. So we had to work around that type of idea. We had to think of the idea that although the development once done, it will still be on the side of a mine dump. Half of the facility is still a mine dump with illegal mining. I don't think the government's going to totally control or stop this illegal mining. Guys are also just trying to make a living here. But yet, with the illegal mining going on and the guys walking up and down the site, how are we going to secure it? We decided to have a look at a remotely off-site monitored hybrid type solution. Hybrid, what we mean by hybrid is it will be a combination of color cameras and thermal cameras. The distances on the perimeter are quite vast. Some perimeter lengths 700-800 meters long. No lights, absolutely no lights on the perimeter. Just a bare fence line. So we considered a bit of thermal, and in the areas closest to the gates, we decided we'll go for like a color camera. So in some instances we used bi-cameras, it's got thermal and color built in. In other instances we wanted to use long-range thermals and shorter-range color cameras, specifically looking at the gates and all the entrance, exit type of things. And we decided that we had two options of cabling in the site. We could do a wireless solution between the poles because of the vast perimeter, or we could just fiber it. Obviously fiber is the best way to go, absolutely. We find with the wireless type applications, you lose signal every now and then, and being so critical and high risk, the site, there's just no ways that we can consider losing connectivity to the site. So our first prize was, let's put in a fiber backbone. We pulled the 8-core fiber backbone around the entire perimeter of the site, and then we started placing cameras on the perimeter. Thermal cameras, as I mentioned, backed up by color cameras. Guys say, well, why do you want both? Problem we have with the thermal cameras, it's got a great image at night, you can see movement, but you can't identify. So if there's a specific person and you wanted facial identification, the thermal camera cannot give you that quality of image. So it's always good to have a hybrid solution where you can identify a person, but you also can cover the long ranges with a thermal type imaging device. Onto the system, we included AI, artificial intelligence, on the color camera, facial recognition. So as you walk past the camera, it will recognize your face, it will snap and grab pictures of your face. Built onto that, we have got metadata. So if you're wearing an orange overall, it will recognize you've got an orange overall. It will recognize if you're wearing glasses, if you've got a beard, you're Caucasian, and everything else. Will tell you a male and a female, and it puts that into the database of the artificial intelligence file, or the meta file as they refer to it. So if there is an incident, we can search, there was a person in an orange overall, and it will show us all the footage of people with an orange overall. Well, with that meta file and all that metadata and AI, the most important to us is what we call tripwire. We were able to draw tripwires along the length of the fence, both sides of the fence, and different variations. On the outside, it can't be during the day because you've got a lot of people walking up and down that side. But on the inside and over the fence, just hold on, just 1 minute. I got you. Hello, Wesley. We designed the system that has got tripwires on both sides of the fence. During the day, we switch off the tripwire on the outside because there's a lot of people moving up and down next to the fence. And we leave the tripwire on the safe side of the fence and on top of the fence in case somebody climbs over. Then at night, we do the opposite. We put the tripwire on the outside. The advantage of the tripwire is we call it an early warning system. We want to detect somebody close to the perimeter before he's inside. So with the tripwires, it trips, triggers through to the control room. We get a post and pre-video snapshot plus a live footage of what's going on, and we can physically see. We also incorporated audio on the perimeter of the site. So from the control room, we can speak to the person on the perimeter and say, hey, what are you doing? Step away from this premises. It's been monitored.
This is remote outside monitoring. This premises is monitored remotely. Please step away from the perimeter.
So from the control room, we can speak to the person on the perimeter and say, hey, what are you doing? Step away from this premises. It's been monitored. So presently, the installation is completed on the site. The track is operational. I'm sure you can hear the go-karts racing around the track at this side. And our incidents, zero, absolutely zero. How many times have we caught people? Well, it's simple, about 10 a day, because there is a requirement. People are desperate at this stage in this country. People do look at it. They see your fence and they don't see, oh, this is something to get over. They see this is scrap metal that we can take in and get some money for it. So has it been successful? Absolutely. Come, I'll show you the perimeter and I'll show you how we integrated this advanced monitoring solution.
This is remote outside monitoring. Please note, this premises is monitored remotely. Please step away from the perimeter.
This is one of our typical camera positions on the perimeter of this fence, the FK Park. It's a pole which is mounted 6 meters high, so people can't easily get to the cameras and vandalize the cameras and try and break them and steal them. This pole has got 3 cameras on it. The thermal camera looking down the perimeter for around about 200 meters, and then 2 little facial cameras around the area viewing the cars, the colors, getting facial data and that type of information off it. At the bottom of the pole, we've got 2 boxes. The one is the control side of the box, and the bottom one is a battery backup. It's got around about a 4-hour battery backup in the event of no power. Batteries will run it. The whole system is a 12-volt system. It is fed from the council, the main power, but it's got that 4-hour battery backup. So that's a typical scenario that we have with. This is a walkway over here, so that a lot of the Zama still use this mine dump and they move back and forth. I think they're staying around, they stay at the back of the mine dump over there, and they walk up and down. Vital for our system is not to pick this guy walking up during the day, because he's not a threat. But if he comes right against the fence, that is the important point where we need to generate an alarm before he tries to actually breach the fence or climb over the fence. And then this fence has also got a no man's land. From the fence up to the curb is around about a 3-meter area. We call it a no man's land. If any movement happens within this 3 meters of the inside of the fence, that generates the next alarm on the system. The third camera position on the mine dump, a little bit unique, a little bit different, because this camera doesn't have a large distance to cover, because the fourth camera position is only about 40-50 meters away before there's a kink in the physical fence. So we didn't install a thermal camera up here. We just got a normal AI camera looking this first 40 meters, and then from camera position 4 we went back to thermal and color imaging. Same concept, control system, battery backup on the actual thing. If you look at the outside, you can see that there's a footpath already from the people walking on the outside. But if you look at the fence, untouched, unscaled. So yeah, these mine dumps are active. The guys wouldn't be mining in there if there wasn't gold. I think the biggest problem with most mines is it's just become too expensive for the big corporates to mine in these mine dumps with the cost of labor, machinery and everything else. And that's why it's left the market open for the Zammas to be able to mine cheaply, go in underground. They spend up to a week under the ground. They take out little bits at a time, but enough to sustain themselves and their families. This final position here is not done yet, because this is still a temporary fence. So we put a temporary position there. Hierdie area moet nog opgevul wees. This area over here is incomplete. They've just installed a temporary fence. And for us to monitor it, we installed the camera right on the existing building over there, looking down against this temporary fence. So the whole idea is, once this perimeter is moved to the position where it should be, we'll put a permanent position, there'll be a permanent position of the camera down over there. You can see the Zammas there actively working in the field, busy doing their mining and doing what they need to do. That's them over there. But around about that area is where the final perimeter fence pole is going to be, looking back towards the building.
Remote outside monitoring. The premises is monitored remotely. Please step away from the premises.
Do it again, Uncle Roy. Nice. Okay, got it. 3, 2, 1, action.